began. I filled many bags with T-shirts, sweatpants, socks, Brooks Brothers shorts. A few weeks later, I assembled more empty bags. I was not yet prepared to address the suits and shirts and jackets, but I thought I could handle the shoes. I stopped at the door to the room. I could not give away his shoes. I stood there a moment, then realized why. He would need his shoes if he was to return. It is an adaptation by Joan Didion of her best-selling memoir called The Year of Magical Thinking, which she wrote after her husband died suddenly. At the same time he died, their only daughter was in a coma, suffering from septic shock. So at the moment she lost him, she was dealing with her daughter's medical crisis, and she didn't really handle the death very well. And she admits now that for the period of about a year, she was living in this world which she calls the if world, or the magical thinking world, where she truly believed if she did everything right, he was going to come back from the dead. As you used to say to me, no. Yes, many people have pointed out that John and Quintana and I were unusually dependent on one another. Does unusual dependency, another way of saying marriage, husband and wife, parent and child? On the occasion when John gave her the red car with the Cuber plate, I gave her a gold bauble from Tiffany, like this one. The day I finally told Quintana that her father was dead was January the 15th. The day the sedation had been sufficiently metabolized to remove the endotracheal tube. I did not intend to tell her that day. I did not intend to even see her. If she saw me, she would ask where her father was, and I would have to tell her. My father was killed when I was 5 in a plane accident. So, of course, that was a very sudden loss. And then later in the story, their daughter Quintana eventually recovers from the first illness, goes to California, and has a massive brain hemorrhage as she gets off the plane, and ends up in another coma in California. When my brother was 25, he was at work and his heart stopped. He suffered anoxia from being without air until the paramedics came and got his heart started, and he was in a coma for about 10 days, and he suffered brain injury from it. So he is 41 now, and it's been watching his recovery and his struggles. So the parts of the story, especially, she talks several times about walking into ICUs and seeing her daughter in a coma. I vividly remember that. I vividly remember walking into my brother's ICU, and standing over his bed, and you just wish and pray that, open your eyes, please just open your eyes. So, I can really relate to that. She whispered when she saw me. I told her. I stressed the long history of cardiac problems, the apparent suddenness but actual inevitability of the event. I myself, in fact, did not believe this, but it was the story I was telling. She cried. Jerry and I each held her. She tried to talk. She believed she had spent the last month in Taipei. The space shuttle from Tokyo had developed mechanical difficulties and been diverted to Taipei. She dropped back off into sleep. "How's Dad?" she whispered when I saw her that night. I had heard about the book, and then I had heard about the play. Vanessa Redgrave did it on Broadway in 2007, so it's a relatively new play, and I just found it, fascinating, and thought it would be a great challenge for, me, both the emotional challenge and also the acting challenge of memorizing it all and being on stage by myself.